You ever had something stolen from you? Not once, not twice, but over and over again, and nobody did a thing to stop it? Imagine your favorite meal, cooked with love, packed with care, just vanishing day after day. That was my reality at work. But when HR shrugged it off, I decided to take matters into my own hands. And let me tell you, the day the thief was caught in front of the whole office is one I'll never forget. If you've ever tasted the sweet victory of putting a bully or a thief in their place, hit that subscribe button right now. Smash the like button if you think justice should always be served, especially when it comes to stolen lunches. And share your own revenge story in the comments. I want to read them all.
Nobody likes a lunch thief. But in my office, we had one of the most persistent, shameless food bandits you could imagine. For months, people whispered about missing lunches. Every day, someone new would walk into the break room, open the fridge, and groan, "My lunch is gone." At first, I brushed it off. I figured people grabbed the wrong bag by accident, maybe too embarrassed to admit it. I mean, we all had nearly identical brown bags or Tupperware with a piece of tape and a name scrawled on it. Easy mistake, right? Even I accidentally grabbed the wrong lunch once or twice, but I always noticed before opening it. So I assumed it was carelessness, nothing more sinister. But I was wrong. Dead wrong.
Everything changed when my wife enrolled in a French cooking class. Suddenly, my lunches were 5-star masterpieces: coq au vin, beef bourguignon, pastries that looked like they came straight from Paris. I wasn't bringing just lunch, I was bringing art. And that's when the thefts began to target me. The first time my gourmet meal vanished, I was irritated, but told myself, fine, maybe it was an accident, someone got lucky. The second day, I labeled my lunch in giant, bold letters, shoved it to the very back of the fridge, and thought I was safe. Nope, gone. By the third day, I didn't even bother with the fridge. I kept my lunch at my desk. Big mistake. I left for a quick errand, came back, and my meal had still vanished. That's when I knew this wasn't random. Someone was hunting my lunches specifically. Furious, I marched to HR. I explained the situation, expecting them to care. Instead, they stared at me with dead eyes and quoted policy. Employees' lunches are their personal property, and the company is not responsible for lost or stolen items. I couldn't believe it. My food stolen daily, and the company basically said, "Not our problem." The next day, my wife packed a delicate cream-based soup. It had to stay cold, so I risked the fridge. I checked every 5 minutes like a hawk, and yet somehow it vanished. I stormed back to HR, demanding action. All they did was issue a generic memo. Please check the name on lunches before removing them. They claimed it had nothing to do with me. Useless. So there I was, stuck choosing between gourmet meals stolen daily or vending machine sandwiches that tasted like rubber with rotten ham.
Before I could act on my growing fury, the pandemic hit. We all worked from home for months. Honestly, I forgot about the whole saga. I had bigger problems, like adapting to remote work, and eventually, my marriage falling apart. When the office finally reopened, I dragged myself in on day one. Tie strangling my neck, chair already giving me back pain, fake small talk draining my soul. But nothing prepared me for the gut punch waiting in the break room. My lunch was gone. Again. This time, it stung deeper. My wife and I had divorced. The lunches she used to make, just a memory. And now someone had stolen the first meal I'd packed for myself since then. I saw that same stupid memo about checking names taped to the wall, mocking me. I felt powerless, angry, and hungry all at once. Something snapped. This wasn't about food anymore. It was about respect. The plan. That night, I hatched a plan. The next day, I packed nothing, just an empty lunch bag with my name written boldly on it. Then I slipped into the break room and swapped the HR rep's lunch into my bag. To the world, their food now looked like my lunch. Then came the performance. I strolled around the office, loudly announcing, "I had an off-site meeting, won't be back till 3." I even moved my car out of the lot to sell the illusion. In reality, I was parked a few blocks away, working on my laptop. After a couple hours, I snuck back through the stairwell and hid just outside the break room. Heart pounding, ears straining, I waited. And then, jackpot. Later that day, HR called me in. They told me they were aware of my break room hijinks. I nearly burst out laughing at the phrasing. They warned me that moving another employee's lunch was technically against policy. It took every ounce of self-control not to throw their own words back at them. I thought lunches were personal property and the company wasn't responsible. But here's the best part. Kyle, the thief, was caught red-handed in front of the entire break room. Word spread like wildfire. This wasn't just about me anymore. Everyone remembered their own missing meals. Suddenly, Kyle was the office villain, the pariah. And just like that, the promotion he'd been gunning for, off the table. Justice, served cold. I didn't need HR's approval. I didn't even need credit. What mattered was that Kyle's reign as the office lunch thief was over. He went from smug and untouchable to exposed and humiliated. And me? I finally got to eat my lunches in peace. The office fridge, once a battlefield, was mine again. The revenge wasn't just about food. It was about reclaiming respect, about showing that sometimes the only way to fix injustice is to set the trap yourself. If there's one lesson in all this, it's simple. Never underestimate the power of quiet planning. When the world tells you to just accept it, sometimes you need to write your own ending. Because justice doesn't always come from authority. It comes from standing up for yourself.